The following story is fan-made and not to be considered part of the Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire canon. Far to the north, on a particularly cold and eerie night, Jon Snow sits alone in his cabin, pondering over a map of what lies beyond the wall, when suddenly he hears a familiar voice coming from the doorway.
Bloody hell, lad, are you still looking at that map?
It was Tormund Giantsbane.
Maps don't redraw themselves, boy, if that's what you're waiting for. It's not that, Tormund. It's all these stories I've been hearing. What stories, eh? Stories of giant spiders, of mad men with red skin eating people alive. Ha! I'll tell you exactly what that is, boy. Us free folk are proud people, and we don't like to admit when we're wrong. All those stories are free folk who left, got hungry, and now have come back with their tails between their legs. Stop fretting, boy, and have a bloody drink.
After Jon was exiled, he travelled far to the north beyond the wall with the remaining free folk. He hoped for a quiet life, but he secretly knew he wasn't going to get one, as the free folk looked to him as a leader, even king, but this was the title he definitely didn't want. So along with the help of his old friend Tormund Giantsbane, Jon Snow took it upon himself to find his people a home, and finally tried to unite them in peace. And after several months, they found such a home, just north of the Fist of the First Men, to a perfect place where two freshwater rivers met, and a large mountain range to the north to protect against blizzards, and to the east a large forest perfect for hunting and wood gathering. Under Jon's leadership, the free folk were able to build themselves a thriving settlement. Using the lumber they had gathered, they were able to create themselves wooden cabins. Now, although these were fairly simple and a far cry from the houses of Westeros, they were certainly better than caves and tents. For the most part, the free folk lived in peace, farming and hunting, but of course these were the free folk, so there were definitely a lot of fights and brawls, but these were quickly ended with a few steins of ale. Now, not all free folk liked this life, and there were still those who hadn't forgiven him for killing Mance. There were many among the free folk, especially the Fens, who believed that Jon was trying to domesticate them and turn them into southerners. As they put it, "We're making pretty houses. Soon they'll be bigger and prettier. Then we'll get bigger and prettier until some of us start calling ourselves lords and ladies. Then we'll be just like the southerners." These free folk abandoned Jon and the settlement and headed north, calling themselves the true folk and labeling all others as sleeping folk. And now these same free folk are returning with strange and haunting tales. Tales of ice spiders and wild men whose skin is stained red with blood and who eat the flesh of their victims while they're still alive. Many in the settlement believe this is just a fairy tale, but Jon isn't so sure. He recalls stories from his childhood, tales of a haunting place called Cannibal Bay. This place was said to trap unsuspecting ships in ice, and their crews would be eaten alive by feral cannibals. Jon had often wondered, if these stories were true, why didn't these cannibals try and return south? But now he's starting to think, what if it was the White Walkers that were keeping them out? And now that the White Walkers are gone, there is nothing stopping an avalanche of insane cannibals from descending south. But it's just a silly story, right? A point of controversy within the north is what to do about the Wall and the Night's Watch. For thousands of years, the Night's Watch have been the shield which guards the realms of men, but now that the White Walkers are gone and the free folk are the North's allies, the Night's Watch seem to be relics of a bygone age. And now that the Wall has been irreparably damaged, many have questioned just how effective the Night's Watch can truly be. No one in the North has the knowledge to rebuild the Wall, and some question if the Wall is even necessary. This has been a major sticking point for both the Northern Lords and Queen Sansa, who understand both the historical and cultural significance of the Wall and the Night's Watch, but also question their relevance in this new age. Many in the North believe that the Wall is too much of an important icon to let fall to ruin. Some have petitioned that instead of the Night's Watch, the Wall should be made into a penal colony, where the North can send their prisoners and convicts, where they can serve out their sentences maintaining and being the caretakers for the Wall. This plan would effectively disband the Night's Watch. However, many others have stressed the importance of the Night's Watch and why the North needs them. These lords do not trust the wildlings and believe that the threat is not yet over. The free folk are mostly united in peace under the rule of Jon Snow, but some have questioned just how long Jon Snow can maintain this peace, and just how long it can be until the free folk return to their old ways. For now it seems that a sort of compromise has been reached. The Night's Watch shall continue. They will also be able to recruit from the prison populations as well, but their mandate is now slightly altered, as not only do they act as the shield which guards the realms of men, but they also act as envoys between the North and the free folk, passing on messages between the two sides and being responsible for guarding the various trade missions north of the wall. But now, like everywhere else in Westeros, times are changing, as it would seem that the need for military garrisons on the wall is becoming more and more apparent. Yet again, many free folk are fleeing south of the wall, raiding and pillaging as they go. Captured free folk tell tales of giant ice spiders, as well as the feral men who are coming down from the lands of Always Winter, hell-bent on carnage. Despite suffering tremendous damage during the Great War, the North has surprisingly bounced back stronger, a testament to the resilience of the Northerners. But the stalwart leadership of Queen Sansa Stark cannot be overlooked. Sansa Stark, Queen of the North, rules the North from her seat on the Wolf's Throne. Although the North has started to prosper again, it has been a very hard 2 years. Immediately after the death of Queen Daenerys and the rise of King Bran, the Northern army quickly marched home, where it was immediately disbanded, with the soldiers in the army returning back to their homes to desperately try to salvage what they could. Both the wars and the winter had done their damage. The North was in ruins. Starvation, disease and banditry was rampant in the North, and with the Northern army disbanded, there was very little that Queen Sansa could do about the bandits, and she could hardly ask her brother King Bran for help, as this could potentially make her look weak and nothing but a southern puppet. But Queen Sansa had matured much in her years and was far more intelligent than many gave her credit for. She understood she could not do everything by herself. She surrounded herself with loyal and very capable advisors, such as Lord Glover and Lord Manderley, both very intelligent, very wise men, and both fiercely loyal to her and her family. Although she has not entirely forgiven Lord Glover for his betrayal of her brother Jon Snow, although Queen Sansa listens to everything that her advisors tell her, but she is no fool. Her years of experience has taught her that even the most honourable and loyal men always have their own agendas, and Sansa is very mindful of this. That is one of the main reasons why she has not chosen a husband for herself, as she cannot afford division in the North at this time. The North itself has also changed, with many northern families being wiped out during the various wars, and new lords and families have had to be chosen to watch over these lands. Many of these territories have been given to knights who proved themselves during the Great War and the war against Cersei, being elevated to the title of Lord and being given the status as a house. Apart from House Mormont, however, that is now ruled over by a very distant Mormont bastard called Jarek. He was an illegitimate son of House Mormont, but Queen Sansa officially legitimized him. He now rules as Jarek Mormont. Within these 2 years, many of the northern castles have been rebuilt, apart from the seat of House Bolton, the Dreadfort, which upon the orders of Queen Sansa was torn down and destroyed, and Queen Sansa has forbidden any castles from being built on this land. The situation in the north is not, however, as rosy as the Starks like to make out. Queen has made her fair share of mistakes, and as a result has created some pretty powerful enemies. Not only that, but several months ago she ventured to King's Landing to talk with her brother. She did not recognise the man who sat on the Iron Throne, but it was certainly not her brother. This has worried the North greatly, as it seems that King Bran has no loyalty towards his former home. Because of this, and under the advice of her advisors, Queen Sansa has ordered that the Northern army be rebuilt, and she cannot allow family loyalty to cloud her judgment. The North must remain strong. Thank you very much for watching. This was the second episode in my fan-made Game of Thrones miniseries called A Folly of Thrones. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like this, please consider hitting that like button, as it helps me know if people are enjoying it or not. But until I see you again, may you spend a half hour in heaven before the devil knows you're dead.